The Y-D Red Sox are back at Red Wilson Field. The 5-3-4 and first team in the East Division hosts the Falmouth Commodores 4-5-2, third in the West Division. The two teams clash tonight. I'm Will Connerly alongside Brad Klein and Luis Ramirez tossing his warm-up pitches, set to make his third start of the season. And if you know anything about Luis Ramirez and the Y-D Red Sox, well, he's been pretty exceptional so far this season, and both times he's taken the mound for the Y-D Red Sox, the result has been a tie. We will see what is in store for tonight. The talented right-hander takes the mound as Cody Huff throws it down after the final warm-up pitch from the right-hander. But Brad, Luis Ramirez, if anything from the first two starts is information, we're in for a treat tonight. Luis Ramirez set to take on Luke Boyers, a center fielder hitting .222 on the season with a double, an RBI, and one stolen base. Swinging from the left side. As Ramirez is set to toss the first pitch. And the first pitch of the game misses outside. Ramirez.
And Luis Ramirez, the kind of guy that could really put the team on his back, and disappointing that Y-D couldn't get him a win in his first two starts. He's due.
And he finds the strike zone on the outer portion. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luis Ramirez with a .82 ERA so far through 2 starts. He's been very exceptional. And the 1-1 pitch to the leadoff hitter Boyers, chopped to the left side. Peyton Graham at short across the diamond, and there's a ground out to begin the game as Boyers grounds out. And that brings up Jake Borfin, hitting .333 on the season, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, and 11 runs driven in. He's been one of the top hitters for Falmouth, the second consecutive lefty coming to the plate to face off against Luis Ramirez. Ramirez's first pitch was a slider that misses low. Here to Jace Borfin, hitting .333 on the season. Ramirez in his first start went 5 innings and 1 earned run. In his most recent outing, which came on the 27th last Sunday, 6 innings, no earned runs, just 2 hits allowed and 7 strikeouts. And the 1-1 pitch misses low. Jeffrey Merzel behind the plate today calling balls and strikes. 2 balls and a strike here with 1 away in the top of the first. And that ball chopped again to the left side. Coming up on it. Over across the diamond, and Lou makes the play at the hot corner. Baez gloves it at first, and there's 2 away. Back-to-back ground outs to the left side, and that brings up Braden Taylor to the plate here in the top of the first with nobody out.
Well, we've seen Zach Lou make some really, really nice plays, but that one was one of his best, believe it or not. Didn't look too difficult, but that's the mastery of the play to take charge really pretty much to a point where it was hit directly at Peyton Graham, but so slow that he was able to use his momentum to his advantage on the throw.
Richard Cabral, the first base umpire, as it's grounded to Hoffman over to Baez, and that is the third out. A quick 1-2-3, top of the first for Luis Ramirez. 3 ground outs to the bottom frame of the first. We go next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, bottom of the first, no score. And Peyton Graham to lead things off for Y-D after Ramirez had a clean 1-2-3, top of the first, 3 groundouts. Antoine Jha on the mound, the left-hander from Alabama, making his first appearance with Falmouth this season. And he was one of the Crimson Tide's regular weekend starters, who was hampered by injuries all season in 2021, made 5 straight weekend starts to begin the year before being sidelined for nearly a month this past spring. And first pitch grounded by Graham over to short. And Colden across the diamond. Graham retired on the 6-3, and there's one away in the bottom of the first.
Peyton Graham being a very aggressive early on, and can you blame him against the lefty? Y-D really wants to tack a few on this lefty, even though they have plenty of right-handed batters at the top of the order with Wyatt Hoffman second and Peyton Graham first. The Red Sox have really struggled against those southpaws.
And the southpaw first offering, Wyatt Hoffman, and that's going to be down. Wyatt Hoffman extends his hitting streak to 7 games. And he's on first base. In 4 years for the Pacific Tigers, he never had a 6-game hit streak. Now, with a 7-game hit streak, he's on base here with 1 out, 1 aboard, and that brings up Nate Baez.
Bloop single, and that's how you know that you're really clicking on all cylinders when the ball starts to drop in your favor, because baseball at times can be a very unforgiving sport, and not right now for Wyatt Hoffman.
Pitch is in there for a strike on the first offering from Jha from Montreal, Quebec. In 2020, he earned freshman All-American team recognitions from Collegiate Baseball News at the season's end in 2020 in the shortened campaign as that ball's fouled away. And then in 2021 was dealing with some injuries to his arm, but was in the rotation. The talented underclassman at Alabama. They're 26 1/3 this past season. And the 0-2 pitch is up and in. But Hoffman, after going 1 for 4 yesterday, extends his hitting streak to 7 games on first base, has hit safely in 8 of the past 9 games. The game he did not get a hit is when he went 0 for 1 when Y-D walked it off against Orleans here at Red Wilson Field, hitting above 375 over the last 9 games. Hoffman really has turned it on and has found a home atop the order for the Y-D Red Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hoffman at first, being held by Malone. And the left-hander delivers the 2-2. It misses low. Count runs full, and on deck is Cody Huff.
Oh, Huff is really swinging the bat well, so if Baez can figure out a way to get on base here, then Y-D is in pretty much exactly the position that Pickler wanted them to be.
That ball struck well to the left side. Baez gets a hold of it. It's off the fence. Hoffman turns around and comes home to score, and Baez motors into second with his 4th double of the season. It's a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox in the bottom of the first.
Well, talk about getting on base. Nate Baez doing that and then some. And we talk about a guy like Wyatt Hoffman swinging the bat well, but Baez has been doing a great job as well and proves it there, sitting on the fastball and really getting around it.
Nate Baez turns on the fastball to left field. He has himself a double. His 12th hit of the season, 4th double of the year. He was 0 for his last 6. But has the double there, and it's Huff to the plate. Huff catching today, the catcher from Stanford. 1 ball, no strikes as Y-D takes an early lead. And Baez, after hitting just 172 against left-handed pitching at Arizona State in 41 games this past season, crushes the ball to left field. He got a good piece of that one, and he finds himself on second base as Cody Huff is at the plate with a 1 ball, 1 strike count, 1 away and 1 aboard. Baez in scoring position after the foul ball from Cody Huff. The pitch misses inside. 2 balls and a strike. Huff At the plate, Chase Luttrell hitting fifth. He's on deck. Breaking ball misses inside. Smith, the catcher, had to scoot over to his left to corral that one, and the count runs to 3 balls and a strike. Here to Cody Huff. Huff is 4 for 14, hitting .285 for the Red Sox. After a couple hits last night, he hits that ball up the middle, gloved at second by Curiel, and it's over to first. There's 2 away, but Baez advances to third base, and now Chase Luttrell comes to the plate.
Well, Huff just hits it off the end of the bat, and that allows Curiel to turn around on it and just catch up to the baseball. But you could hear it. It looked like you thought it might have had the chance to get into center field. I think Cody Huff knew it off the bat, but is disappointed.
And Luttrell takes a breaking ball on the first pitch for a strike. He's 6 for his last 20. Over the last 5 games, Luttrell is hitting .300. 10 for 43, hitting .233 on the season. With 1 double and 5 runs, he squares around a bunt, drops it down here with 2 outs. Jaw over to first. Luttrell is retired. 1 runner stranded, but 1 comes across as the inning ends with a bunt, but a 1-0 lead for the Y-D Red Sox after 2 hits, 1 left, and 1 across. We send it to the second next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 1-0 lead for the Y-D Red Sox as we come to the top of the second. Luis Ramirez just needed 8 pitches to retire the side in the top of the first, and then Y-D comes around in the bottom frame, and they use a hit from Wyatt Hoffman, a single to left field to extend his hitting streak, and then he comes around to score on an 8 Baez RBI double to left field. A 1-0 lead for the Red Sox as Luis Ramirez toes the rubber. Just 8 pitches needed in the first, and he gets ahead of Anthony Hall, the left-handed hitting left fielder, who's 8 for 31 so far on the season, hitting .258 with 1 long ball and 2 runs driven in. The 0-1 to Hall. It's a swing and a miss after the breaking ball was in the dirt, and the breaking pitch of choice for Ramirez is the slider. That's what he used right there as he buried it. 0-2 the count. Hall from San Diego, California, plays at the University of Oregon. The 0-2 misses low and away. Hall was 1 for 4 yesterday against Catuit. Falmouth has lost 3 consecutive games. And they've struggled to score runs during that span. Just 8 runs through the 3-game losing streak after the count evens to 2 balls and 2 strikes after Ramirez misses low on the pitch.
And one thing that Luis Ramirez does well when he's pitching well is stay out of deep counts. Did that in the first inning. And here with this first at-bat, and Anthony Hall looks like he is following a new game plan after just 3 outs, saying, okay, we need to work the pitch count on this guy, because if we don't, it's going to be more of the same that we saw of Luis Ramirez in his first 2 starts.
And the full count pitch. Misses outside on the changeup, and it's a free pass to begin the second. Michael Curiel to the plate. With 1 runner aboard, the leadoff walk issued to Anthony Hall. Curiel hitting .262 on the season, playing second base, and the slider is in there for strike 1 on the first offering to Curiel.
And Ramirez can use that slider in many different ways, can use it as the wipeout pitch. Here he's using it as the table setter, getting back to his comfortable zone after that leadoff walk.
The 0-1, a swing and a miss on a fastball inside, 0-2 the count. It was an 0-2 count to Anthony Hall, but then Ramirez issued 4 straight balls to walk Hall to begin this frame. He's on first. Another 0-2 count. Here to the Commodores' second baseman, Michael Curiel. And the runner is off. It's fouled back, though. Anthony Hall was in motion with the pitch. Falmouth has stolen 15 bases through 11 games played. And Hall, who was in motion on the pitch, has 1 on the season as he was running on the 0-2 pitch. We'll see if he does it again. Hall stays put. The ball fouled back once again, so we'll do the 0-2 pitch one more time. Bryson Ware on deck for Falmouth. A 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. The second most points in the league behind Bourne, who hasn't lost a game yet. The 0-2 slider, and he got him. Curiel went chasing for the low slider. He went around, and there's 1 away after Ramirez records his first strikeout of the day.
That's the mastery of the slider. It's in the strike zone for about 45, 50 feet, and then it just drops off and wipes out. And Luis Ramirez, as I mentioned before, can use that slider in different ways, and Curiel had no answer.
So 1 away and 1 aboard here in the top of the second. A 1-0 lead for Y-D. A check over at first on Hall. He gets back in time. He began this frame drawing a leadoff walk as Bryson Ware comes to the plate. He's 1 for 21 to begin the season with 11 strikeouts, making his first start since Wednesday. Another check over at Hall on first. He gets back in time. Through 8 games, making his 9th appearance, is Bryson Ware, the outfielder from Auburn. Plays the infield as well as he swings through the slider, make it 0-2. So Ramirez has made the count. No balls and 2 strikes to 3 consecutive hitters. He walked Anthony Hall and then just got Michael Curiel swinging to record the first out. And now Ware in an 0-2 hole. Foul back. Ware playing right field today. Brennan Malone is on deck. Falmouth hitting .222 as a team through 11 games. And the 0-2 pitch inside. Huff throws it down to second. Hall slides in, and he got him. Huff throws out his third runner of the season as he caught Hall trying to swipe second. 2 away here in the top of the second.
Oh, well, you forgot a crucial detail. Third runner thrown out of the season and only 3 attempts against him. Cody Huff, unbelievable arm and an even better pop. And just a stoic catcher behind the plate. It looks like Y-D might have found their new starting backstop.
The 1-2. The slider. Ware went around. Huff throws it to first. And Ramirez faces the minimum through 2 frames, 2 strikeouts and 2 scoreless for the right-hander. To the bottom of the second we go. Y-D on top 1-0 on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, a 1-0 lead for Y-D. Here in the bottom of the second, Drew Bowser, the designated hitter, will lead things off against Antoine Shaw as the left-hander out of Alabama throws a breaking ball in there for strike 1 here against Bowser. Bowser 0 for 5 so far, a small sample size for Bowser, who came from Stanford, who was at the College World Series where he put together a very impressive true freshman campaign. But in an 0-2 hole after he swings through the 0-1 offering. And pitch upstairs on the 0-2. So a ball and 2 strikes, bottom of the second. Bowser from Los Angeles, California, went to Harvard Westlake High School. As the breaking ball misses low, hit right around 300 at Stanford during his true freshman campaign and led the team with 16 doubles. His mother, alum of Stanford, and he took his talents there as well. As the pitch misses outside, count runs full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. As Ja surrendered a couple hits in the first, Hoffman singled and then came around to score on a Baez double, swing and a miss on the 3-2 pitch, and Bowser is retired via the strikeout, 1 away in the bottom of the second. And Pasca now Ferreris now to the plate.
Bowser's still looking to find his footing, and he was pulled from yesterday's game, or was that 2 days ago?
Yesterday's game.
Yesterday's game early. Cost him 2 at-bats. Pulled as a defensive sub with Baez moving from catcher to first. And that's a head-scratcher for a lot of Red Sox fans that are eager to see the kid.
As Ferreris fouls the pitch back. Pascal Ferreris playing left field today. Seen him in the infield and patrolling the outfield a little bit for Scott Pickler. As Ferreras gets a piece of the 1-1 offering, make it a ball and 2 strikes now with 1 away, nobody on. A 1-0 lead for Y-D after the RBI double by Baez, who's hitting in the 3-hole today. And the 1-2 misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ferreras hitting 135 on the season. He doubled in yesterday's game, skies this one to the right side. Malone is under it at first, and he scatters over to his right to make the play. He was around the first base bag and then moved over to the right on the edge of the infield grass to retire Ferreras. 2 away in the bottom of the second.
And it's a little breezy, but in terms of visibility, this is a pretty conducive day to catching pop-ups in the infield, so I was a little surprised that Malone had a little bit of a tough time there, but you could see in his feet. On those plays, you always want to watch the feet to see if they're drifting. Do they know exactly where they have to be? Are they unsure? Are they shuffling their feet? Are they crossing their legs? That's where you really see if they're having a tough time reading the ball.
Zach Liu at the plate as Shaw's 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. So a ball and a strike. Antoine Shaw making his first start of the season for Falmouth. Here again, Zach Liu, who's 0 for 14 through 5 games for the Red Sox. But this one's hit toward the left side, and that's a base knock for Zach Liu. His first hit as a Red Sox, and it's a 2-out base hit in the bottom of the second. That brings up Briley Knight to the plate.
I'll talk about a guy that's due. Zach Liu came in, and a lot of the players around the program that are familiar with his work at Cal State Fullerton, Chase Luttrell being one of them, Cody Huff, the West Coast guys, they were aware of Zach Liu, and they said, man, we're getting a good player. And then he goes 0 for 14. Everyone was shook.
As Liu finds his first base hit, and when you are in a stretch of where you can't get a base hit, and sometimes you can hit into bad luck, or sometimes it doesn't fall your way, but when you can get that base knock, it's a sigh of relief, and maybe it's signs of more knocks to come for Liu, who's on first base, as the breaking ball is in there for a strike. A nice pitch by Antoine Shaw. As the southpaw facing off here against the left-handed hitter, Briley Knight, the 9th place hitter in the order, and the center fielder with the pitch. It's a breaking ball that Briley Knight swings through. And so Y-D center fielder Briley Knight in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole here with 2 away and 1 runner aboard. That's Zach Liu at first base after the 2-out hit. Breaking ball misses inside, so Shaw triples up on the breaking ball, trying to get Briley Knight, but it evens the count, misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 2 away. 1 runner aboard in Zach Liu, and on deck is Y-D's leadoff hitter, Peyton Grant. And the 2-2 pitch from Shaw. It's Briley Knight who's able to stay alive. And that ball hit towards center field from Briley Knight. Going back is Boyers, and he makes the catch. He leaps up to grab it right before the fence in the outfield, and that's the 3rd out. So Y-D with 1 hit, 1 stranded, no runs, and through 2, it's a 1-0 advantage for the Y-D Red Sox. To the 3rd we go next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you in the top of the third inning, and Luis Ramirez is cruising right now for a Y-D as he gets Brennan Malone, the first baseman, to foul the first pitch back to the screen. No balls and a strike in the top of the third inning as Y-D leads 1-0. They scored that one in the first inning. It came off the heels of, Nate Baez had that big-time double shortly after Wyatt Hoffman's single. 1 ball and 1 strike now. And the Long Beach State righty gets the slider in there for strike 2. Malone is 2 for 21 on the year. You do the math and carry the 1. That's a 95 batting average. Base is empty here, just 1 RBI on the season. Swings and misses out of his shoes on the slider. Strike 3, 1 away in the top of the third inning, and now that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Luis Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez looking really good with the slider. We talked with him before the game where he was saying, hey, if the slider's working, we're in business. If it's not, we're in trouble. And the slider's been working through the first 3 frames as he goes to that pitch, that breaking pitch, at a very consistent basis. And it's not just his ability to get strikeouts with the slider, but he gets ahead with the slider a lot of times as well. It's a versatile pitch.
So here's Taylor Smith, the Georgetown Hoya. Actually played for Falmouth in 2019, a 6'1" junior. Takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. He's just 1 for 8 on the season. A temp player for Falmouth. And Ramirez gets Smith to pop foul out of play down the right field line. No balls and 2 strikes now. So Luis Ramirez has thrown 29 pitches at this point, 20 for strikes. He's faced the minimum and has 3 strikeouts. The only base runner he allowed came as a leadoff walk against Anthony Hall in the top of the second inning. That didn't last very long. Cody Huff picked him off second. Slider just misses off for ball 1. Now in 2021, Smith hit .231 for Georgetown in 29 games played. Had 78 at-bats and 18 RBIs. The slider started in on his hip and then ended up just to the lower part of the strike zone. A nasty, nasty break by Ramirez, and it looked like Smith was just happy it missed low.
Yeah, and Smith, who's 1 for 8 on the year, but he has 6 walks and 2 hit by pitches, so he's been on base a handful of times, but the hits have been scarce.
2-2 is clocked to deep left center field. Knight chasing back, and he watches it go. A home run in the top of the third inning ties it up at 1 apiece off the bat of Taylor Smith. Taylor Smith getting it done. Just his second hit as a Commodore this year and his second RBI.
And he hit the home run with 2 strikes. He pulled that ball to left field, hit it hard, and it found the trees. And Y-D's pitching, they've given up their fair share of home runs here at a hitter-friendly Red Wilson Field. And that was a case, though, of just really driving a ball to left field and pulling it with 2 strikes. He was ready for the pitch, the fastball, and was able to clock it to left.
So now we're tied at 1 apiece. No balls and a strike to Cody Colden, the shortstop. Swings and misses for strike 2. Well, I think everyone here at Red Wilson Field is a little shell-shocked, and Luis Ramirez has been virtually unhittable. And here comes Taylor Smith, who hits a home run with 1 out in the top of the third inning to tie it up, and now there's 2 outs. Cody Colden chasing the fastball off the plate.
And through 11 innings coming into this start, They were effective innings. He just had allowed 1 earned run and came in with a .82 ERA.
And with 2 outs, we go to the top of the order now. Luke Boyers, the center fielder, grounded out to short his last time up.
4 consecutive outs have been recorded via the punch-out for Ramirez, but if you remember back to last start, he got squared up 1 time. Jace Young, dead center field. And if you can just get squared up once, still a quality outing.
That came as a triple, but I think everyone agreed it shoulda, coulda, and woulda been a home run had the wind not really picked up on it.
Or if the geographic location was different.
434 to dead center. Polo Grounds. 2 balls and no strikes now. The changeup nicks the outside corner. 2-1 to Boyers, the center fielder.
And that ball, that was one of the hardest hit non-home runs I've seen.
Ever. At any level.
Dead center with 100 off the bat.
Luis Ramirez gets the sign from Cody Huff the first time they're working together. And the 2-1 to Boyers. Slider slices the zone for strike 2. Again, it continues to be that great pitch, one of the best in the CCBL.
You think he'll probably go back to it.
The 2-2. Slider does, but he misses way wide, and he knew it. Kind of grimaced and went off the mound and already took a little lap there, just knowing that he was going to have to throw another pitch.
And talking to hitters from other teams, when you say, hey, one of the best pitches, many people have that same sentiment around the league. That is so nasty.
Payoff pitch misses just high for ball 4. So the third base runner allowed by Ramirez in the second walk of the day. Puts a runner on first with 2 outs for Jace Borfin.
Yeah, and Borfin has been one of the best hitters so far for Falmouth, and better yet, the whole league. 11 runs driven in so far this season with 12 hits.
So 2 outs, Falmouth and Y-D tied at 1 apiece in the top of the 3rd inning after Luis Ramirez gave up his first home run as a Red Sox, and the fastball misses way high and way outside. Stands Cody Huff up for ball 1. And Ramirez only allowed 2 home runs this past year at Long Beach State in 65 1/3 innings pitched.
And that was the most on the team. He was a workhorse this past season, and he's at the front of the rotation for Y-D as well for a reason. Limits the long ball.
Speedy Boyers off of first base and a dive back as Ramirez wants to keep him close. We've seen some good crowds at Red Wilson Field. And I'm not going to say this is the best one because opening day I think still is unmatched, but this is probably the most crowded I've seen the outfield. Now home run territory, fans lining up basically from foul pole to foul pole.
Yeah, almost every square inch of the outfield, the whole perimeter of this field, you see lawn chairs everywhere. People coming out in full force to support the first place Y-D Red Sox in the East Division.
2 balls and no strikes after the slider missed badly. To the lefty, Jace Borfin. And Borfin drives that one to deep center field. Briley Knight doesn't even get to the track before it sails out of here. Another home run in the top of the 3rd inning. This one a 2-run shot. And Jace Borfin puts Falmouth up 3-1.
The 3rd home run of the summer for Borfin. Hitting 333 this season. The designated hitter, really a force atop the order for Falmouth, and it shouldn't come as a big surprise, of course, off Luis Ramirez, yes, but Borfin, such a talented hitter, and he took that ball dead center field and clocked it for a home run.
Well, Jace Borfin, Big 12 all-freshman, hit .252 on the year at Oklahoma and ended his NCAA campaign 0 for 11, 1 for 19, 1 for his last 19, but really picked it up in the CCBL.
Yeah, just like his college teammate who's at shortstop for Y-D, Peyton Graham, each from Oklahoma, and both Sooners are the team's both respective best hitters on the field.
1 ball and no strikes make it 2 balls and no strikes to Braden Taylor, arguably the better Big 12 freshman on Falmouth. Big 12 freshman of the year from TCU. Second team all Big 12 as well. The 2-0 grounded slowly over to first. Baez fields it himself and stomps on the bag in time. Side retired. But Falmouth scores 3 runs on 2 big hits. A home run from Chase Borfin and a home run from Taylor Smith. It's now 3-1 Commodores in the middle of the third, and this break brought to you by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit miltoncat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Glad to be with you. New pitcher on the mound for Falmouth. In relief of Antoine Jean, it's now Lucas Gordon, the lefty from Texas. And Gordon working from the windup, and the first pitch fastball letter high strike to Peyton Graham. At 6'1", 193, the freshman from Notre Dame High School and originally from Los Angeles. Fastball down the middle again. 0-2 now to Peyton Graham. This is his first appearance as a Commodore. And Graham pops it up to center field, make that right center field, and coming on to take charge and make the catch is Luke Boyers for out number 1. That ball just kept on drifting, and Boyers thought he had a good beat on it until he didn't. A 3.32 ERA in his first and only season at the collegiate level. 19 appearances and only 1 start. 21 and a third innings pitch. So we'll see how much length the lefty can give. First pitch fastball is popped up to shallow center field. Boyers coming on. He's waved off by the shortstop Colden, who makes the over-the-shoulder catch.
Really nice play, ranging back to left field, and that's where Wyatt Hoffman, he's a pull hitter, hits his ball, most of his balls to the left side. and it's Colden who's able to make a really good play at shortstop.
Enter Nate Baez as the outfielders take a few giant steps back, and rightfully so. A 2-run double in the first inning, or rather an RBI double, brought in Wyatt Hoffman for the first and only run that the Red Sox have, and the first pitch fastball misses just high for ball one. Baez has really come into his own, now hitting .268 on the year. The interesting thing is that typically has reverse splits. That was not the case against Antoine Jean, the starter, who was also a lefty in that first inning, but at Arizona State this past year hit .172 against lefties and .307 against the righties. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Baez. And with 2 outs and no one on, Baez watches the breaking ball miss inside and low. 2-2.
Yeah, Baez before last game, before 2 games ago, had an 8 for 19 5-game span where his average jumped from 188 to above 300. But that double in the first broke an 0 for 6 and leading the team with doubles with his 4th back in the first. Doesn't typically hit the left-handers well, but he's shown that he can hit both sides of the arm.
Payoff pitch misses high for ball 4, so there goes Baez on base again. For the second time today, a 2-out walk brings up Cody Huff. So Baez just continues to find ways to get on base. Had 2 walks yesterday, even though he was 0 for 2. And reached on an error in the 9th inning. But then again, what was new? It was 7 errors for Hyannis yesterday, and Baez was just in the right place at the right time, it seemed like. 1 ball and no strikes now to Cody Huff. And the catcher from Stanford. Now 2 balls and no strikes, and it seems like Gordon's dialing it up pretty well.
Yeah, Falmouth throwing out 2 arms who are making their first appearance of the summer. Getting a lot of work in with the rain out. More opportunities for pitchers.
2 balls and 1 strike now after that one nicks the lower part of the zone. Now Gordon had a pretty rough start to his collegiate career. Didn't record an out and gave up 3 runs, all earned, even though he only allowed 1 hit in his debut against Ole Miss. It only took him 14 pitches to allow those 3 runs, too. And that was his welcome to the NCAA moment. As Cody Huff watches strike 2 down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on first. Falmouth leads 3-1. And shortly after that, his next appearance, a little bit better. 2 hits allowed, only 1 run, though. An inning and 2/3, and then he really hit a groove. As Huff swings and misses at the fastball upstairs for strike 3, side retired. At the end of 3, Falmouth 3 and Y-D 1, and this break is brought to you by Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th year's master's programs at www.curry.edu. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brian Klein. To the top of the fourth we go between Y-D and Falmouth leads 3-1 after a three-spot in the third inning against Luis Ramirez, who gave up his first home run as a Red Sox. First pitch slider misses low for ball one to Anthony Hall. Walked and was caught trying to steal second in the second inning. And Hall watches the fastball off the plate for ball one, 8 for 31 on the year, with 2 RBIs and a homer. The Oregon Duck. And I mentioned before that Ramirez only gave up 2 home runs at Long Beach State. That was a big point of emphasis, but it wasn't just the home runs as Hall swings and misses for strike one. It was the extra bases as a whole. Only gave up 10 doubles in 65 1/3 innings pitched. It's pretty good as that one is popped up to shallow left, and Peyton Graham backpedaling to make the catch for out number 1. So with that, Michael Curiali, the second baseman, struck out swinging his first time up at the dish with 1 out in the top of the fourth inning. Chop to the right side. Hoffman coming on the charge. Flips it over to first in time. 2 gone.
You talk about the charge. Hoffman had to come up to the infield grass, get rid of it quickly, make a nice play over to Baez at first base. And it's been Ramirez who has induced a lot of ground balls today. That pop out to Graham, that's the only out recorded in the air. Of course, 2 balls in the air went over the fence, but he's primarily kept the ball on the ground to get a lot of his outs, coupled with the 4 Ks that he has.
So now it's Bryson Ware's turn. Struck out swinging his last time up as well. No balls and a strike. And the slider is down the middle for strike 2, and Ware is 1 for 22 on the season.
Now with 12 strikeouts as well after fanning the first time up swinging against Ramirez to end the second.
The 0-2 checked his swing, went around, dropped third strike. Cody Huff on to first, and that is strikeout number 5 for Luis Ramirez through 4 innings pitched. In the middle of the fourth, Falmouth 3 and Y-D 1, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Hey fans, Devadyme is the official website development company of the Y-D Red Sox. They designed and developed our League Pass website and helped us with marketing to bring more fans to the games and more visitors to our website. Devadyme helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out devadyme.com to learn more, and be sure to like Devadyme on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network in the bottom of the fourth, it's Falmouth 3 and Y-D 1. And on in his second inning of work, Lucas Gordon, the lefty from Texas, who, as I mentioned before, had a really rough start to his NCAA career. 3 runs all earned after recording no outs against Ole Miss in his debut, and then allowed 1 run in an inning and 2/3 of work as Chase Luttrell, the lefty, pops up to the right side. It's caught by the second baseman for out number 1. Curiel taking charge on the first pitch against Chase Luttrell. So Luttrell is now 0 for 2 on the day. So he gave up 1 run in an inning and 2/3, and from there, he really settled down. He had 5 appearances straight with no runs allowed, as Bowser pops it foul out of play. It was 6 2/3 consecutive baseball without giving up a run, and at that point, it really seemed like Texas had a cog in their bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Stanford Cardinal, Drew Bowser. Bowser struck out swinging his last time up. 2 balls and 1 strike now. And the righty way ahead of the changeup for strike 2.
And Bowser, who's trying to find his groove here, coming from Stanford, looking to get going. He really ended the year hot for Stanford, had a hit in the last 7 games of the season for the Cardinal, and he really turned it on when Stanford turned it on as well, making it to Omaha and ended the season on a nice hit streak, but as searching to find his groove here for the Red Sox.
Bowser fouls it off, the payoff pitch, so we'll do it again. Well, in his first year at Stanford, hit .302. So that's a good sign. Cody Huff was talking to me about Bowser before and has told me that he is one of the most talented freshmen he's seen.
Led the team with 16 doubles.
But he goes down swinging for the second out in the bottom of the 4th. That's his second strikeout of the day. So Drew Bowser having a tough time really breaking through for Y-D, now 0 for 7 as a Red Sox. And here's Pascal Ferreras, who popped out to first in the second inning. Y-D down by 2, no one on, 2 outs. And Ferreras from Western Carolina watches the changeup for strike 1.
And Gordon, that's his second strikeout as well, has shown some pretty solid stuff out of the bullpen.
1-1 to Ferreras now. Pascal Ferreras had 16 home runs at Western Carolina. And he drives that one to deep left center field, back on the track at the wall. It's a home run. Pascal Ferreras goes according to the scouting report and puts Y-D within 1. It's now 3-2 in favor of Falmouth.
A really nice hit by Pascal Ferreras right there. You talked about the home runs that he had at Western Carolina. He knows how to put a ball out of the ballpark. His first of the summer. He had an extra base hit yesterday. He has another one today in form of a home run to left center field and a really nice strike by Pascal Ferreras.
Unbelievable. Pascal Ferreras has been due. And a team like Y-D that loses some talent in the middle of the lineup. Brooks Lee goes to play for Team USA, and they've been needing someone to step up, and Ferreras continuously inserted in the lineup. The glove has kept him there as Zach Liu lays down a bunt foul. 1 ball and 1 strike now. The glove has kept him in the lineup, but if he can hit at least somewhat consistently, then he's going to be a force for the Red Sox.
Yeah, Ferreras with a really nice strike. You mentioned the 16 home runs that he had at Western Carolina. I mean, the power's no joke. 2 doubles on the year, one of which came yesterday when he went 1 for 4. The strikeouts, they've been pretty high for Ferreras, but if he can put a jolt into the baseball like that, you'll couple that with some strikeouts now and then.
Zach Liu now even at 2-2. It's also the first time that Ferreras has pieced together hits in consecutive games for the Red Sox. Had one hit against Hyannis last night. And the 2-2 to Zach Liu. Swung on and missed strike 3. He chased the fastball off the plate. Could have been ball 3. Instead, it is out number 3. And at the end of 4, Y-D is down by 1, 3-2 in favor of Falmouth right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Hey, Sox fans, have you ever thought about buying or selling a home? Emily Szymanski of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 508-221-0196 or visit thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network in the top of the 5th inning, and Falmouth leads 3-2, but Y-D is hot on their tails after a Pascal Ferreras solo shot in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Luis Ramirez remains the common denominator. A slider in the dirt. He went around, though, strike 1, and he is Brennan Malone, who struck out swinging his last time up in the 3rd inning, so shades of that 3rd inning at bat, just unable to lay off the bait. And Ramirez from the windup goes back to the slider. Why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he misses on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike with no one on. And the leadoff man, Brendan Malone, a first baseman from the real USC, South Carolina. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-1.
And at South Carolina, hit 154 in 2020 and 13 at-bats. This past season, he hit 216 in 116 at-bats. So far on the Cape, he's 2 for 22.
That's 091. Malone checked his swing and got hit by a pitch, or did he? No, a foul ball. Now that one's close. That's one of those in-betweeners. And it ricocheted, it looked like potentially off of some human flesh there, whether it was Cody Huff or the home plate umpire back there, Jeffrey Merzel. But either way, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ramirez, the slider, jammed him, and it's fouled off his left ankle, but that one was nasty again. A slider that was probably heading right for Merzel, rather, I should say Malone, and his left oblique for 40 feet or so before it broke.
Yeah, Malone, he's been able to draw some free passes, but the hits just coupled so far this season in 22 at-bats.
And the 2-2. Another slider misses low. Count is full now. That's something that we've seen a little bit more from Luis Ramirez today than we've seen pretty much any other start he's had. And he steps off and takes a deep sigh just to kind of reset here. Gets the sign from Cody Huff. Full count, no outs. Payoff pitch is swung on and grounded sharply foul. Jeffrey Kinney standing right on the line. He had the best angle, but just centimeters away from being trouble for Luis Ramirez to start off this top of the 5th. Remember, the top of the 3rd began. It was pretty simple, though. Had the strikeout against Malone, and shortly after that, the home run on Taylor Smith. But here's another strikeout for out number 1. A backwards K in the book for Malone, his second strikeout of the day.
And the 6th for the right-hander, now working in his 5th frame. He gave Y-D 5 innings his first start, 6 innings in his most recent start against Orleans, and now working in the 5th. He's looking pretty good.
Enter Taylor Smith, the catcher, who homered his last time up, started the scoring for Falmouth in that 3rd inning. A couple batters later, it was Jace Borfin's turn with a 2-run shot. 1 ball and no strikes now to Smith. 1 for 9 now. Hit .231 this past year. And the 1-0 to Smith, a slider driven to left field. Backpedaling is Ferreras. He's there to make the catch by his right shoulder for out number 2. So Pascal Ferreras might have misjudged it a little bit, took a few steps in, and the rules basically say take a couple of steps back, at least to start. If you're an outfielder, that should be your impulse. But it kept on carrying, the wind doing it a little bit of a favor here or there. The wind is coming from home over to center, more like left center. So 2 away now for Cody Colden. And a bunt foul for Colden with 2 outs and no one on.
It was good for Ramirez to get Smith. Whenever you surrender a home run the at-bat before you come back to that at-bat, you know that guy had your number. Taylor Smith had his number hitting that home run in the 3rd, the solo home run, a part of the inning where 2 home runs were hit by Falmouth. So a nice job by Ramirez to retire him.
Slider taken for strike 2. Cody Colden started every game that he played at Washington State. In 2021, 48 for 48, hit .320. Grounded up the middle, ranging to his left is Peyton Graham. Flips it over to first in time. Signed retired. No runs, no hits, and no one left on. Falmouth sent down in order in the 5th. And in the middle of the 5th inning, it's Falmouth 3 and Y-D 2 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network in the bottom of the 5th, it's the Commodores 3 and the Red Sox 2 on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Briley Knight leading off for Y-D, hitting in the 9-hole. The lefty from Texas, Lucas Gordon, still on in relief. And the first pitch, fastball taken on the inside corner for strike 1.
That was the 32nd pitch thrown by the left-hander. Now working into his third frame out of the bullpen.
Fastball misses high, 1-1 to Briley Knight. While Antoine Jean won 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, and a strikeout. Gordon has the 6 outs recorded as well, as he's now 2+. A ball and 2 strikes to Briley Knight. 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 earned, and that was the Pascal Ferreras homer. 3 strikeouts to his name. Make it 4. Briley Knight spectating on the fastball right down the middle. And the bat on his shoulders on a 1-2 count. That one is a lot of Red Sox fans shaking their head.
Well, Taylor Smith, the catcher, got the fastball, and typically you'll frame it, you'll come up on it, you'll get it right into the strike zone. That pitch was a little outside. He frames it inside and throws it down immediately around the horn right as the strike 3 was called, and a pitch that Briley Knight probably thought was a little bit outside.
So here's Peyton Graham. Right-handed hitter from Oklahoma. Big swing and a miss for strike 1.
And Graham is due. Hitting .318 coming into this game, but as of late, he's struggled a little bit, was hitless in the last 2 games, and he's 0 for his last 12.
Didn't think we'd ever say that about Peyton Graham being 0 for his last 12.
His last hit came against Wareham in the first inning, then went 0 for 4 the rest of the game. 0 for 3 against Chatham, 0 for 3 yesterday against Hyannis.
And Graham nubs it foul out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
And in search of his first hit today, so definitely someone who's due.
And the lefty from Texas deals. Graham pops it up to the infield. No, make that foul territory. The first baseman Malone coming on to make the catch for the second out. So Graham now 0 for his last 13. And 2 away for Wyatt Hoffman, who now has a 7-game hit streak after singling in the first inning, is 1 for 2 on the day. Now, Wyatt Hoffman had 1 hit in 4 at-bats yesterday against Hyannis with a run scored in that 7-1 win. And the numbers, being the scorer, say that Y-D played a lot better than they actually did, but only 1 of those runs were earned. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Wyatt Hoffman. 7 errors committed by the Harbor Hawks last night.
And they had 5 coming into that game on the season in 10 games.
And Hoffman with a blooper to shallow center coming on, and a diving catch. Backwards goes Coldy Colden. Over his left shoulder, and a diving grab for out number 3. Unbelievable play by Colden to rob Hoffman of a 2-out single. And at the end of 5, it's still 3-2 in favor of the Commodores. Back here in a minute, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the 6th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly. I'm Brad Klein, and Falmouth leads 3-2. Luis Ramirez working in his 6th inning as the starter. Falmouth already well under their second pitcher's reign, and maybe going to get a third arm out there soon. Swing and a miss by Luke Boyers, the TCU Horned Frog. No balls and 1 strike. Hit .307 this past year for TCU. 0 for 1 today, a ground out and a walk. Changeup misses just inside, 1-1. Now Luis Ramirez has pitched pretty well. 6 strikeouts on the day. Only problem is he's given up 2 home runs. And Boyer's way ahead of the changeup for strike 2.
But Ramirez has settled in ever since that 2-run home run. He's retired 7 hitters in a row. 2 hits allowed are the only hits, are the home runs against Ramirez, but 7 straight retired for the righty.
Boyers grounds it over to the right side. Hoffman is there, gathers, and fires over to first. 1 away in the top of the 6th. Brings in Jace Borfin, the DH, who homered his last time up in the 3rd inning. 1 of 2 hits, like you mentioned, against Luis Ramirez. 1 for 2 on the day. And Borfin, a guy who is getting a lot of love in the 2020 draft scene. Chose to go to Oklahoma after he went undrafted, but leading up to that draft, a lot of people were talking about Jace Borfin. Outfielder who actually began playing the outfield in his freshman year of high school, and defensively, he's the real deal. Can reach up to 93 miles an hour with that cannon out in the outfield, and can pretty much play any outfield position. And the speed is up the wazoo as well. No balls and a strike to Borfin. Was in the 98th percentile in the 60-yard dash in the 2020 draft class at 6.59. The average for that class was 1.3 seconds slower than Borfin, which in terms of baseball and in terms of a 60-yard dash is monumental. And the 0-2 to Borfin. Fastball misses just outside, so back-to-back sliders to get ahead of the count, 0-2, and then he goes to the fastball as a throwaway pitch. Luis Ramirez pitching backwards on the lefty Borfin from Oklahoma. And with 1 out, Borfin watches the changeup, tail outside, 2-2.
Yeah, Borfin, he was highly touted, the 3rd-ranked player in Oklahoma, and 38th ranked player in the country by perfect game, was the Oklahoma Perfect Game Player of the Year in 2019.
And Borfin nubs it foul. We'll do it again.
A lot of love for the Big 12 towards the top of the order for Falmouth. Boyers out of TCU and Borfin from Oklahoma.
Borfin went 1 for 3 with an RBI last night in the 3-4 loss to Katuitt. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Ramirez has already 6 strikeouts under his belt. 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Falmouth 3, Y-D 2. From the windup, Ramirez kicks and deals. Check swing foul back to the screen.
And then, of course, the guy on deck as well, the Big 12 freshman of the year. First 3 hitters in the lineup, solid players at Big 12 schools.
Ramirez has the sign from Huff. Slider just misses outside, and Ramirez wanted that call. Already began his little victory lap around the mound before he realized he had to throw another pitch to Borfin.
Yeah, he got vengeance against Taylor Smith, who hit a home run against him in the 3rd. And Borfin, he did as well, trying to put him away here on the full count.
Payoff pitch to Borfin. Fastball just below the knees for ball 4. So Luis Ramirez giving up his third walk of the day. It's a 1-out base runner for another Big 12 star, Braden Taylor, the third baseman. 2 groundouts for Taylor today. But he's a guy who already is getting some MLB buzz. And I know it's very early to start talking about Braden Taylor in the MLB, but why not? Big 12 Freshman of the Year, Big 12 second teamer, and hit .302 with 5 RBIs in his last 4 games for Falmouth. But this is a guy who led TCU in home runs, was second in batting average, OPS above 1,000.
All as a true freshman.
All as a true freshman, and the idea is if he can do that now, what will be the case when he's draft eligible? No balls and a strike. Taylor takes the fastball. Nice frame by Huff for strike 2. And now the only caveat, a main caveat to the Braden Taylor to the MLB discussion is the precedent of it, right? He's from West Jordan, Utah. Utah has produced just 40 players who've reached the big leagues, and that is monumentally small. Playing in Texas, a state that's produced nearly 1,000 players to the majors. One ball and 2 strikes now to Braden Taylor. Checked his swing, didn't matter. Strike 3 called. The fastball slices the outside corner, and that's the 7th strikeout of the day for Luis Ramirez. 2 gone in the top of the 6th.
And before giving up the walk to Borfin, Ramirez had retired 8 hitters in a row. That streak was ended on the free pass, but he turns around and responds to get Taylor, one of the best hitters on the Commodores roster. Huge response right there for his 7th strikeout.
Breaking ball misses for ball 1. So now it's the second time in 3 starts that Luis Ramirez has 7 strikeouts. Had 7 in the scoreless debut, or rather scoreless start against Orleans, his last appearance. That was on the road, and then in his debut, he had 6 against Brewster. Runner goes, Ramirez picks him off at second. Tag applied by Peyton Graham. Side retired. Jace Borfin got a little antsy off of first base and thought he recognized the tempo of Luis Ramirez, but the entire Y-D faithful at Red Wilson Field letting Ramirez know, hey, you got an antsy base runner off of first base. So that retires the side, and Luis Ramirez has faced the minimum in all but 1 inning pitched through 6. In the middle of the 6th, it's still 3-2 in favor of Falmouth right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 6th on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. I'm Brad Klein. He's Will Connerly, and Nate Baez leading off with a big swing and a miss for strike one. New pitcher on the mound for Falmouth. It's Jackson Phipps from South Carolina, a Dallas, Georgia native, 6'5", 230-pound freshman. And the thing he has in common with his predecessors in this game is quite simple. He's a lefty, and Falmouth just stockpiling those lefties against Y-D, who's really struggled against the southpaws. Baez behind the count 0-2 and fouls it off on the fastball. Antoine Jean started the game, 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and a strikeout. Lucas Gordon, the lefty from Texas, took over, 3 innings of 1 hit, 1 run baseball. That 1 hit was a Pascal Ferreras homer, the first of its kind this season. 1 ball and 2 strikes, close shave for Nate Baez. And Baez chases the elevated fastball for strike 3. So the first time Baez has been retired today. Brings up Cody Huff, who is 0 for 2. Now Huff struck out swinging his last time up. And the Stanford Cardinal watches the fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. So Jackson Phipps with a 5.4 ERA. This is his 5th appearance. And Huff fouls it back to the screen, 0-2. Has 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and has given up 6 hits. His last appearance came against Hyannis in a 5-2 loss. 1 inning, scoreless baseball. Only gave up a run in 1 appearance this year. It was against Hyannis as well, as Huff grounds it into right field for a base hit. A 1-out single for Cody Huff, his first hit of the day. Brings up Chase Luttrell. Luttrell 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a pop out. A guy that really struggles against lefties. And takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Chase Luttrell hit a .194 against left-handed pitching at Long Beach State in 2021. 345 against the righties, and a late time as the pitch was delivered. No, a balk. So Jackson Phipps balks, advances Cody Huff to second base, and all of a sudden, it's a runner in scoring position for Chase Luttrell. The last pitch does not count. No balls and a strike for the Long Beach State lefty, who hit .254 with runners in scoring position this past year. Luttrell grounds it sharply over to the right side. The second baseman, Curiel, fires over to first in time for out number 2 as Cody Huff advances to third base. So a single, a walk, and a ground out puts a runner on third base. Or excuse me, a balk, not a walk. Puts a runner on third base with 2 outs for Drew Bowser. Bowser is 0 for 2 on the day, 2 strikeouts, and the slider misses outside for ball 1. Drew Bowser 0 for 7. Could use his first hit as a Red Sox here. A big swing and a miss. 1-1 the count now to Drew Bowser, the 300-plus batting average freshman from Stanford. Breaking ball right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Bowser with 2 away and a runner on third base. Y-D down by 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Drew Bowser with his open stance. And the 1-2 grounded sharply over to short. Colden gathers and on to first. It's dug out by the first baseman Malone. A low throw as Cody Huff was disappointed. He thought he had a run, peering over his left shoulder and saw that the throw was going to be low, but Malone digs it out of the ground for the third out. At the end of 6, it's still 3-2 in favor of Falmouth right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 3-2 lead for Falmouth and a call to the bullpen for the Y-D Red Sox. Zach Jacobs now on the mound, the right-hander out of UC Riverside. Jacobs last pitched on July 2nd at Chatham. He threw a clean inning. He faced the minimum and had 2 strikeouts, looked pretty solid in that appearance. Before that, he made a start against Catuit where he went 2 innings and surrendered 7 earned runs on 7 hits. So making his 3rd appearance of the year coming out of the bullpen here in the top of the 7th and trying to keep the deficit where it's at. Just a slim 1-run advantage for Falmouth. And the first offering outside after Cody Huff has a quick conference with his right-hander to go through the signals before the frame to Anthony Hall. The breaking ball misses low from Jacobs to Anthony Hall. Anthony Hall is 0 for 1 today. Reached on a walk, but then was caught stealing by Cody Huff back in the 2nd. Popped up to Peyton Graham at short back in the 4th and swings through the offering by Jacobs. Make it 2 balls and a strike. A healthy 2-0 hack by Anthony Hall, who's 0 for 1. He's on a 3-game hitting streak right now. A strike called, so evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 7 of the past 8 games, Hall has hit safely for Falmouth as he fouls it to the right side. In 11 games, has 8 hits and 31 at-bats. Coming into this game, was hitting .258. Zach Jacobs, after Luis Ramirez had another solid outing, gets the strikeout. He climbs back into the count and fires the fastball at the knees that Hall swings through, and it's a swinging strikeout to begin the relief appearance and start the top of the 7th for Zach Jacobs, 1 away, and that brings up Michael Curiali.
Oh, Zach Jacobs started the year in the rotation. Now he's kind of in a hybrid role. And coming out of the bullpen today in a leverage position, this is a big opportunity for Jacobs to really make his mark in a defined role.
As that ball hit slowly to the left side, no, it's foul. It hit off Curiali, the second baseman for Falmouth, who's at the plate. Today he's 0 for 2, has 11 hits on the season. hitting .261 with 1 home run and 10 runs driven in. Here against Jacobs, who tossed 80 innings at UC Riverside in 2021. It's the foul ball to the right side, sprayed foul by Curiali. 0 for 2 today. Jacobs coming out of the bullpen, and you mentioned it, he does have that hybrid role, how he started against Katuitt, then was pulled out of the rotation, came out of the bullpen, thought he was going to work as a piggyback against Franklin, as he gets another strikeout, back-to-back Ks, coming off a clean frame at Chatham where he had 2 strikeouts. He has back-to-back strikeouts to begin the 7th as well. And the Y-D bullpen, it looked pretty good yesterday. You just needed a left-hander named Ross Dunn to do the work, and he looked pretty good out of the bullpen. Zach Jacobs, early signs indicate that as well. That ball hit well towards center field, back at the track at the wall, and it's gone. Bryson Ware with his 2nd hit of the season, and he leaves the yard. He hits a home run to put Falmouth up 4-2 in the top of the 7th.
I might have spoken a little too soon. Jacobs knew it too as soon as that ball was hit, because it was struck very hard, and Ware barreled it up to deep center field. That one was a no-doubter.
Just the 2nd hit of the season for Ware. He was hitting .048 coming into this game. Was 1 for 23 on the season before he launched that home run, and that ball hit to Pascal Ferreras in left field. He gloves it, and so Jacobs faces 4, and Bryson Ware leaves the yard. It's 4-2 Falmouth. We send it to the bottom of the 7th next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th, and Y-D trails 4-2 after the solo home run was hit last half inning by Bryson Ware. He was 1 for 23 with 13 strikeouts before launching the home run to dead center field, as Pascal Ferreras is now in an 0-2 hole here against the left-hander Jackson Phipps. Pascal Ferreras finished the season at Western Carolina with 7 home runs in his final 9 games, but hit his first home run of the season back in the 4th. He skies this one toward right field. Under it is Ware, and he gloves it for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. But Ferreras was able to pull the ball, got inside on it, and hit his first home run of the summer back in the 4th. Now he's 1 for 3 after popping out to right field, but he turned it on at the end of the summer, or end of the season rather, for Western Carolina. 7 homers in his final 9 games, and he was really able to find a groove. Had 16 on the season, and then coming into the Cape had a slow start, but an extra base hit in the form of a double yesterday, a home run today, as Zach Liu pops it up to the right side. 2 quick pop outs for the left-hander in his second inning of work out of the bullpen. Jackson Phipps with 2 quick outs after Liu is retired. And Liu, he got his first base hit as a Y-D Red Sox. He was 0 for 14 coming into this game, but had a single in the second. Then struck out in the fourth and then just popped up for the second out in the seventh. And that brings up Briley Knight as the left-hander fires the pitch. It's fouled back by Knight. Now 0-2 is the count. Knight hitting 200 on the season coming into this game. On a 3-game hitting streak, he's 0 for 2 today. Facing off against the southpaw, 3 lefties have pitched today for Falmouth, and that ball runs inside. It hits Briley Knight. So Knight gets aboard, and that brings up Peyton Graham here in the bottom of the 7th. And Y-D, of course, searching for some power. Well, Peyton Graham has some of it. He's left the ballpark a few times this summer. Has 2 home runs. And the only other player on the roster currently with a home run is Pascal Ferreras. 3 currently on the roster after they lost 3 when Brooks Lee left. Had 3 home runs in his final 4 games with Y-D. But Peyton Graham with 2 home runs. And up to the plate now, representing the tying run. 0 for his last 13. He's 0 for 3 today. So in search of a hit. The average above 300 still had a really, really good start to his summer here on the Cape. Facing off against the left-hander, Jackson Phipps, 6'5", 230. The University of South Carolina, where he pitches, a Dallas, Georgia native. And the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. Peyton Graham in a 3-ball, no strike count. And Peyton Graham with Briley Knight on first base and 2 away. The pitch misses low, so Peyton Graham draws the free pass. After 2 quick pop-outs, 2 quick free passes, Briley Knight was hit by the pitch, and then Peyton Graham gets aboard via the walk. And now that brings up Wyatt Hoffman. Wyatt Hoffman, he popped out to the shortstop the last 2 times he was at the plate, but got a hit back in the first. A 7-game hit streak now for Wyatt Hoffman, who's done a pretty good job. And now I'm joined by a guest on the broadcast. How's it going, Hannah?
Hi, I'm doing well. This is Hannah, the social media manager. This is actually my 3rd appearance on the broadcast, so thank you, Will. Brad will be back shortly.
As Wyatt Hoffman takes the first pitch, your 3rd appearance on the broadcast, and how are you feeling about that? You just find your way behind the microphone, and
I'm feeling pretty good. I think this will be a lot better than my other times because now I'm more well-versed, you know?
I got you. Well, you picked up the headset when someone left, and I guess when a headset's unoccupied, we have to beware that someone might take it and start talking. As Y-D has 2 runners aboard, Wyatt Hoffman representing now the go-ahead run.
I'm now going to leave and Brad's going to come back, but thank you. I didn't really say anything, don't worry.
I just want to point out that Hannah. Okay. See,
the 0-2 pitch fouled away. Brad, sorry to cut you off, but you see what happens when you leave?
Yeah, the mic is just up for grabs, and she grabbed it. Okay, so
well, she wanted to make her 3rd. She wanted to make it clear that it was her 3rd appearance on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Came up to my left, took the headset, and all of a sudden she had a headset on, Brad.
So was there valuable insight offered, or not quite?
I'll let the listeners comment below and decide.
I have valuable insight right now, new to the broadcast. Ran into Luis Ramirez downstairs, and he said that he actually thought he threw the ball really well. And he recognized it was just 2 pitches that got away from him, both fastballs, and that's it. Otherwise, he was very happy with his start.
And that's really how you break it down, just the 2 bad pitches. And Luis Ramirez, he was really effective during his outing. Another just great performance by him. 6 innings and 2 hits allowed, Brad, but it came on the form of 2 home runs, and which was 1 solo shot and 1 2-run shot to have 3 earned runs, but had 7 strikeouts, and he did pitch for the ball very effectively. But Y-D threatening here. Runners on first and second, Wyatt Hoffman at the plate. And the ball gets away. Briley Knight advances to third, Peyton Graham to second. And now Y-D with the tying run in scoring position, bottom of the 7th. Wyatt Hoffman at the plate. And I know we've had some broadcasting gymnastics going on during this frame, but now Y-D, they're trying to get in the driver's seat, get back in the game, and, of course, get some run support for Ramirez, who did throw the ball effectively.
Yeah, and arguably their hottest hitter at the plate, Wyatt Hoffman.
The 2-2 pitch. That ball hit well toward left center field. Back at the track, at the wall. It leaves the yard. Wyatt Hoffman with his first long ball of the season. And the Red Sox take the lead 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Touch 'em all, Wyatt Hoffman.
Well, I mentioned it before. I'll say it again. Wyatt Hoffman is red hot right now. Seeing the ball well. He's seeing a beach ball out there into left center field. He sends it.
And Wyatt Hoffman, who didn't hit the left-handers particularly well, he is on fire. A 7-game hit streak for Wyatt Hoffman. Never had that in 4 years at Pacific, and hits a go-ahead 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th, and that calls for a call to the bullpen. So we'll take a quick timeout and be back with you next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Well, exciting moment at Red Wilson Field. Wyatt Hoffman hits a go-ahead 3-run home run here in the bottom of the 7th. And Y-D has a 5-4 lead. That also meant a call to the bullpen for Falmouth after Phipps went an inning in 2/3, and now the right-hander trying to finish up the job and get the final out here in the bottom of the 7th. Andrew Yancic from McKendree making his 4th appearance of the summer. 6 innings, 1 save, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 5 hits. Has a 1.5 ERA through 6 frames. Scattered over 3 outings. Last pitched on July 2nd. He went 2 innings against Bourne. And a few days later, now comes to try to get the final out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, Yancek here, and his job description is keep it close, keep it to 1 run, and let Falmouth's offense take you back.
That's a foul ball. Baez at the plate. After 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th, it looked like Phipps was cruising. But then the hit by pitch, walk to Peyton Graham, and Wyatt Hoffman left the yard. A 0-2 count now to Baez. Yancek gets Baez to ground it to the left side. Taylor at third, gloves it, throws it over to first. And the side is retired, but not before 1 hit. It was a big one. Wyatt Hoffman left the yard, and Y-D on top 5-4 as we send it to the 8th next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. To the top of the 8th we go. 5-4 Y-D on top after the 3-run home run from Wyatt Hoffman last half inning. And Y-D goes to the bullpen. Reed McLaughlin now on the mound, and the right-hander from BYU will toe the rubber. He's been really good, making his 4th appearance out of the bullpen. He threw 2 innings in each of his first 3 appearances and has yet to surrender a run through 6 innings of work, 6 strikeouts and just 4 hits allowed, and coming in a pretty big spot as Y-D leads by a run now in the top of the 8th. Last pitched on the 30th against Wareham when he went 2 innings and allowed 2 hits, but no runs. And he's yet to surrender a run on the season through 6 frames. And Taylor Smith at the plate takes the first offering from the right-hander for a strike. Taylor Smith is 1 for 2. He was 1 for 8 coming in to this game and then launched a home run on his first at-bat in the 3rd inning. And the 3rd frame is a 3 spot was hung up by Falmouth after Smith had a solo home run, and then Borfin had a 2-run home run. And Falmouth took a 3-1 lead at the time in the top of the 3rd. Y-D followed up with a 3 spot of their own last half inning. That ball hit to the right side in foul territory, and running for it in right field, it drops before Luttrell could get there, but a 0-2 count here to Taylor Smith.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Cody Colden from Washington State. Not yet.
Still Taylor Smith at the plate, and no ball, 2-strike count. A 5-4 advantage for Y-D here in the top of the 8th. And the pitch from McLaughlin. He gets him on the breaking ball. Strike 3 swinging, and there's one away in the top of the 8th.
That's just a nasty slider to Taylor Smith, and anytime that the hitter carousels away and off balance, that's when you throw a good breaking ball right there.
Luis Ramirez, 6 innings of work. And he surrendered just 2 hits, but they were both long balls and allowed 3 earned runs over 6 innings, but had 7 strikeouts. Zach Jacobs came out to throw the 7th and got 2 quick outs before surrendering a solo home run. There's been 5 home runs hit between the two teams today. And now Reed McLaughlin. Grounded to the left side. Zach Lou gloves it, throws it over to first. Baez catches it, makes the stretch in time, 2 away. So Colden is retired. Lineup card flips back over to Luke Boyers. Boyers reached on a free pass in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2. He had 10 stolen bases and hit .307 at TCU in his true freshman campaign. Hitting .222 so far on the Cape with 1 double, 1 run driven in, and 1 stolen base, but he's the table setter for Falmouth, who came into this game with a 4-5-1 record, and Y-D looking to win its 2nd consecutive game and stay atop the East Division. C.J. Culpepper making some tosses in Y-D's bullpen. He's been lights out so far this year at the back end of the bullpen. Was 2nd in the country in saves, and maybe he'll try to get one for Y-D if he should enter the game for the 9th. That ball fouled away. Boyers at the plate. 3 straight Big 12 hitters atop the order for Falmouth, trying to get some 2-out magic. That's what Y-D had. Back in the 7th, there was 2 outs, nobody on, but Briley Knight was hit by pitch. Peyton Graham walked, and then Wyatt Hoffman cleared the bases with a 3-run home run. As McLaughlin trying to get the final out here in the top of the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on, and Y-D up by a run. Just 3 hits today for Falmouth, and all of them have left the yard. And the pitch misses outside. Check swing. He didn't go. And the count runs to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, all Falmouth needs is 1 base runner to really get cooking and force McLaughlin into a pressure situation.
The 3-2. Hit toward the left side, up in the air. Lou running back for it, then called off, and Ferreras catches it in left, running up to make the play. A clean 1-2-3 frame for Reed McLaughlin, and Y-D up by a run as they come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Now for Y-D to catcher, number 26, Cody Huff.
Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you, and Cody Huff to lead off for the Red Sox to begin the 8th.
Well, Cody Huff had the single in his last at-bat. He says that he's due to really catch a barrel.
And he barrels a ball up there to left field. A leadoff single right on cue, Brad Klein, and he has himself another base knock.
Now batting right field, number 6.
I'll be here all night.
Cody Huff, though, his second consecutive game, he has multiple hits.
So I'm not going to toot my own horn too many times this year. Can I do it here?
Go ahead.
Okay. The past 2 games, I called a hit and run. That was yesterday. And
You called it.
I did. You were there. Okay. Called a hit and run.
Chase Luttrell hit towards center field and caught retired by Boyers. But, yeah, you called the hit and run.
Called a hit and run. That's number 1. Today, I kind of queued up the Pascal Ferreira's home run. All right, a little bit, right?
No, you did.
Okay. And then the Cody Huff barrel.
The Cody Huff barrel.
So that's 3.
And what you said he was due for a barrel?
Yeah. Well, I said that he said he was due for a barrel.
As Yancic fires the pitch in, and it's fouled away. Off to the right side by Drew Bowser. Bowser 0 for 3 today with a couple strikeouts. The designated hitter for Y-D today. With 1 runner aboard, it's Cody Huff, and 1 away. The 0-1 from Yancic in there for strike number 2. Yancic with a 7.38 ERA at McKendree University this past season. A Division II school in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. The 0-2 pitch misses low and a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And you almost wonder, why is a D2 guy with an ERA near 8 on the Cape? And you have to kind of throw away the stats for a second and just look at Yancic, and he has some really good velo. And that's a big draw, especially with the scouts right there.
And he's been effective so far this season. That ball hit toward the right side by Bowser and gloved by Ware in right field for the second out. So Bowser 0 for 4 today, still in search of his first knock as a Y-D Red Sox. And that brings up Pascal Ferreira, who hit a home run back in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. But Yancic, we were talking about him. He's from Glen Carbon, Illinois, McKendree University, where he pitches, and a rising senior. And through 6 innings, just a 1.5 ERA, 1 save to his credit, making his 4th appearance of the year. So he has been effective, and while he didn't have a very effective season this past spring in the nation's most premier summer collegiate baseball league, he's doing a pretty fine job as Ferreira swings through the offering to make it a ball and a strike here with 2 outs and 1 runner aboard. But Pascal Ferreira, his last home run before the home run in the 4th came on May 29th against Wofford. And he ended the season really hot. We mentioned the 16 home runs he had, but he had 7 home runs in the final 9 games. It was really cool. And that ball hit to the right side. Coming up on it is Ware, and he catches it right before the right field foul line for out number 3. So the side is retired. 1 hit, it was Cody Huff. He was stranded, and we send it to the 9th. Y-D will try to close the door. They're up 5-4. You're listening to Y-D Red Sox Baseball on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 5-4 lead for Y-D, and Reed McLaughlin in his second frame of work trying to close things out for the Y-D Red Sox alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you, and Y-D looking for its second consecutive victory. The long ball, that's been a theme throughout today's game. 3 hits for Falmouth, all of which have been home runs, and a couple home runs for Y-D as well. 5 home runs combined between the two teams at the hitter-friendly Red Wilson Field. And a 2-ball, no strike count here in the top of the 9th. And a swing and a miss. Jace Borfin swung through it, and speaking of home runs, he had the 2-run home run back in the 3rd. The left-handed hitting power hitter from Oklahoma. His 3rd home run this summer on the Cape, hitting above 300, well above 300. Came into this game hitting .333, and he's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and a ground out and the big 2-run home run in the 3rd. So 3 balls and a strike to Borfin. 2, 3, and 4 due up here in the 9th, and a swing and a miss. The count runs full as Reed McLaughlin tried to get the final 3 outs for the Y-D Red Sox and clinch its second consecutive victory after they topped the Harbor Hawks last night. Pitch misses outside, and it's a free pass issued, so the tying run gets aboard to begin the 9th, and that brings up Braden Taylor. The Big 12 Freshman of the Year hit .324 at TCU. And the 3rd hitter in the lineup has been quiet today, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. But coming up in a big spot here for Falmouth.
You'd have to imagine that McLaughlin's leash is pretty short with C.J. Culpepper warm in the bullpen.
Outside black paint by McLaughlin for the first strike. So nothing in 1 the count. And very good point. C.J. Culpepper has acted as the closer this year, and he's getting hot in the bullpen. You imagine any more trouble, and they may make the call to the right-hander who's warming up. Pitch misses up and outside. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Here to Braden Taylor. Above 300 on the season, 0 for 3 today. Came into the game hitting .302 with 7 runs driven in. Swing and a miss, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Here to Braden Taylor, the freshman at TCU who had just an outstanding season trying to come through for Falmouth here in the top of the 9th. Hit 12 home runs for the Horned Frogs this past spring with a .324 average. The 1-2 pitch, and it misses just off the plate as Cody Huff held the mitt there for a second and delivered the ball back to McLaughlin. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. All the hits have been long balls today for Falmouth. And Braden Taylor at the plate representing the go-ahead run. That ball hit to the left side. Pascanel Ferreras under it in left, takes a step back and catches it to retire Taylor for the first down in the top of the 9th. So Anthony Hall comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2, walked back in the 2nd, but then was caught stealing by Huff. On a 3-game hit streak, but that's in jeopardy now. Hitting .258 on the season with 1 home run. And Falmouth looking for the long ball. Of course, any mistake and the Commodores could take the lead as that breaking ball's in there for a strike.
And that's why I'm surprised to see C.J. Culpepper still just playing catch with himself, tossing the ball up and down, waiting for his name to be called, and Reed McLaughlin still on the bump.
Swing and a miss, and an 0-2 count after another good breaking ball. One that Anthony Hall watched, and then the next offering he flails out in front on the breaking ball. So no balls and a strike, 2 strikes with 1 out and 1 aboard here in the top of the 9th. A 1-run lead for Y-D as the ball's fouled away to the left side by Anthony Hall, the cleanup hitter for Falmouth. with one aboard and one away. The tying run on first base for Falmouth, but a ground ball could end it. The infield at double play depth. That ball hit and fouled away to the left side, and right before the pitch, center fielder Briley Knight, he took about 3 leaps to his right. They've been pitching Anthony Hall outside, and Knight shaded for Anthony Hall to go the other way. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And time is called with Borfin, the runner at first base, the tying run. And Anthony Hall at the plate. So the 0-2 pitch awaits from McLaughlin. And the right-hander delivers. And just got a piece of it was Hall, so he stays alive.
Big pitch here for McLaughlin, because if he can get a speedy strikeout on Hall, then he's very much in the driver's seat. But if Hall can even force 1 or 2 breaking balls to miss.
The 0-2 misses low, and there's a breaking ball miss right there.
So if he can continue to do that and work the count, then McLaughlin's going to be challenged, or going to be forced to challenge Hall. And this is a dangerous hitter, the cleanup hitter for Falmouth. You do not want to be forced to challenge him, as potentially the leading run represented at home.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and there's 2 outs. Anthony Hall put away. And Hall, a dangerous hitter, had 6 home runs this past season at Oregon, but he's put away here in the 9th. And now Falmouth down to its final chance.
Pitching, Christopher Armstrong.
Christopher Armstrong coming in to pinch hit, and he represents the last chance for Falmouth down to their final out. So coming in for Michael Curiali, who was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and Armstrong coming up to the plate. He's played in 2 games. He went 0 for 4 in both of those games with 2 strikeouts. And he takes a strike right there, so the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Plays at the University of Florida from Jupiter, Florida. But coming off the bench, the 6'4", 235-pound switch hitter trying to come through for Falmouth. McLaughlin trying to put away the final out. The runner at first is Borfin. He's the tying run. And Armstrong, the final chance, it's fouled away. So now Falmouth down to its final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 runner aboard here in the top of the 9th. As Christopher Armstrong off the bench, the rising senior at Florida. And a 1-2 hole. McLaughlin comes set. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. McLaughlin got him with the breaking ball, and the Red Sox win its 2nd consecutive game, and they stay atop the East Division. They improve to 6, 3, and 4, and McLaughlin comes in and throws 2 scoreless frames to end the ballgame. Y-D wins 5-4 after the big home run from Wyatt Hoffman in the bottom of the 7th to take a 5-4 lead for the Y-D Red Sox.
And McLaughlin comes in and silences the doubters. That's you and that's me, because we did not think that the 9th would belong to him, but Scott Pickler showing some faith, and Y-D finally taking advantage of the dimensions. It's the long ball. Pascal Ferreras was more than due, and the Wyatt Hoffman show continues to shine at Red Wilson Field.
Up next for the Y-D Red Sox, they'll be at Chatham tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Veterans Field. You can catch us live at 6:50. Left-hander Nick Domkowski will toe the rubber for the Y-D Red Sox as they look to win their 3rd consecutive game. And Brad, how about a final thought on this one?
Y-D is really a force to be reckoned with, and we talked a lot about, well, what will this team be without Brooks Lee? And Peyton Graham is in a bit of a rut right now, but can you imagine what this offense will be when Peyton Graham comes back to Peyton Graham form and Wyatt Hoffman continues to shine and potentially a budding third star on this team? Maybe it's Pascal Ferreras, maybe it's someone else, but you kind of feel like someone eventually, Nate Baez, maybe Cody Huff, Chase Luttrell, there are so many different people that could really take the reins as that third part of the triumvirate that could take Y-D deep in the CCBL playoffs.
So Zachary Jacobs picks up the win out of the bullpen. Jackson Phipps is credited with the loss, and Reed McLaughlin picks up the save. 4 runs on 3 hits for Falmouth, 5 runs on 7 hits for Y-D, 2 home runs for the Red Sox, 5 overall. All 3 hits for Falmouth were homers, and that's a final in this one. The Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox improved to 6-3-4, and they're still atop the East Division. 5 for Y-D, 4 for Falmouth, and they come out on top in this one at Red Wilson Field. You can catch Y-D in action tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Chatham with Nick Domkowski on the mound for Brad Klein. I'm Will Connerly, and so long from Red Wilson Field.